Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here from GuigLit, your one-stop shop for all things books, beards and beyond. Today we're looking at the exam success series here on Blood Brothers on the EDUQAS examination board, how you can get the best possible performance from Willie Russell's play. Now, don't forget as always to give this video a thumbs up, be sure to share it with all your friends and beyond, and if you've subscribed, which I'd highly encourage you to, hit the bell icon for more updates from the channel. If you haven't already, don't forget we're across all different social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Give us a follow there. I'll give more updates on a regular basis there as well on how to improve your exam performance in GCSE and A-level English. So, how can you use today's video? And it will be part of almost a lesson, as it were, because there will be a number of activities you're encouraged to go away and complete. First of all, I encourage you to take notes on how I would best recommend performing an exam on Blood Brothers. In addition, don't forget to use this to annotate a copy of your text, take down some of the key information on examinations that is provided. Also, use this as a revision tool, either by yourself or with a group of friends or classmates. It's a really useful and invaluable way to best improve your performance. Also, use it to help build mind maps and list examples for going towards those weeks up until the examination period. Now, from here, what are the key details that you need to know about the exam? First of all, it is one question. That's all you're required to answer. In addition, the regular time for this is 45 minutes. However, for the 2022 examinations, it will be 1 hour. So use that time wisely. In addition, it's a closed text examination. What that means is that you do not have the book, so you are strongly encouraged to reread that before the examinations. I couldn't recommend that as best practice any more than I possibly could. And an extract is provided, so really make an awful lot of use of it. And in addition, it's worth 40 marks in total. 5 of those marks are allocated for spelling, punctuation and grammar. By that I mean you'd need to make sure you get the characters' names right, the author's name right, everything in that nature. So, before we begin, I've created a little Blood Brothers quiz to test people's understanding and memory of the play itself. And answer in the comments below, or you can write this down on a pen and paper. And if you do write as a comment below, I will mark every one of them out of 10. So here are the 10 questions on Blood Brothers themselves. And it's a good way of just getting your mind in gear as to what it is you are up against, and also to test your own knowledge of the play itself. So pause the video at this point. I'd encourage you to write down your answers. As I said already, if you write them as a comment, I will mark them in the comment section below. So, question types. What sort of questions can come up for this examination? There's generally speaking 2 separate types. Either it will use the following statement. For any of them, you should use the extract below and your knowledge of the whole play to answer this question. Now notice that you have to use both. If you only use the extract, you are not going to get an awful lot of marks for this paper. You have to know the whole text and use the extract. It's a symbiosis of both. Now, the question could be on characters or relationships, or it could be on themes. I've given you some examples of themes there that could come up. I'd recommend you, as I said at the start of this video, to use mind maps, to apply these mind maps to your understanding of superstition, class, violence, or a relationship, as this question today will be on. So, here is an example of a question. This is from 2017, and here we are asked to write about the relationship between Edward and Mickey and how it is presented at different points in the play. If you only use the extract, that's not different points in the play, that's just 1 point. So it's very important to make sure you're doing the right thing. The extract is there, and we will attempt this question at the end. But before we do that, I want to go into a couple of things that the exam board recommend that you do. So, this is the examiner's report from 2020, the most recent one that is publicly available. In this, it states the following points. Now, I'd encourage you to pause the video. However, I've taken out a section of these that I think are particularly important to consider. Characteristics of a good response include the following. It uses the extract as a springboard into a wider discussion of the text. So the extract helps inform the rest of the answer. Now, often you can just start with the extract and go through the rest of the play, or alternatively, you can use the extract in relation to where it is in the play. Now, that's entirely up to you which method you use. Both can be very successful. In addition, notice it asks for a sustained focus. Stick to the question. The worst possible thing you can do is tell me the entire events of the play itself. No one's asking for that. The question doesn't ask for that, so don't do it in your own piece. In addition, good coverage of the text. They really notice how they really have a strong onus on the ability to cover the text itself, beginning, its middle, and its end, and that's really important. As well as this clear planning and progression in the response, this idea that it goes almost in a chronological order is very successful, from the start of the play to the play's conclusion. And here are some things to avoid. Now, again, I've just selected a few, but I would encourage you to pause this and read through it. By the way, it mentions an inspectacles at the bottom because it is another text on the same section A. Don't be put off by that. It's just another text that you could possibly answer on, but you will have been taught Blood Brothers in this case. So, first of all, focus on and select key events. It's about picking your battles on this exam question. Don't tell me everything. Tell me the bits that are best suited to the question itself. In addition, avoid a narrative retelling of plot. Now, I've kind of alluded to this in my previous point, but under no circumstances should you be telling me the entire plot. That is an instant red flag to any examiner that demonstrates that you do not know enough about what the question is asking of you. Also, reference events spanning the full range. That's really important, as it's mentioned before. A whole range there. Make sure you reach the play's conclusion. That has a significant impact. Here's another point that a number of students feel that will get an easy access to those top grades. It's really not about this. Avoid forcing techniques and subject terminology. Don't use things that don't fit. It's not about putting square pegs into round holes here. What it's about doing is using the moments aptly, appropriately, and in an effective manner. So, as well as this last thing, key spellings, character names and authors, that has to be included. Remember, it's Russell with 2 L's, for example. Little details like that are noticed and they are worth 5 marks. And you do not want to be in a position where you lose out by a mark or 2 on your paper. So, back to the question, and we're going to attempt this question as a task at the end. But I would like you to go away and try this question and let me know how you get on with it, or your teacher, as a matter of fact. So the question is exactly the same as it was on the previous slide. It's right about the relationship between Edward and Mickey and how it's presented at different points. So you'd want to plan this, you'd want to go through the extract you see here, you want to cover that in detail, but also it's about having an impactful opening. How do you start a question is one of the most common questions I receive. And I'd recommend what I call a tabble opening. Now, tabble stands for T for text, A for author, B for background, and L, for link. It's a very nice, sharp way of introducing your piece. I've created one here that you can use to help start your response. So, Blood Brothers, there's your text. By Willie Russell, there's your author. It's a play that centres on the lives of 2 twins, Mickey and Edward. I've suffused the background and the link there. The background to the play is that it centres on the lives of 2 twins. The link is Mickey and Edward. Separated at birth, their fortunes become intertwined, leading to a devastating conclusion. Now, I think that's a very impactful way of starting because you're focusing on the question, but you're acknowledging the whole text from the beginning. You're saying this is how it starts, this is how it ends. I would encourage you to use that in your own response, and it's at this point that you're encouraged to now pause the video and attempt this question in the 45 minutes to 1 hour that you have, and give it your absolute best shot as you track through. Now, you'll notice, by the way, that the extract itself is from the end of the play. Now, the more confident and able student would want to bring the extract in its natural chronological position. So if you're really aiming for those grade 7s, 8s, 9s, put the extract in. My encouragement will be to put the extract in at the end of your piece or towards the end, because it's towards the end of the play. It's in Act 2. However, you can still get a very solid grade 4 or 5 just by starting with the extract and then working your way through the rest. It will just feel a little bit more complicated, only for the fact that the extract takes place at the end of the play itself or towards the end. So it's entirely up to you how you wish to tackle that. But your extract, wherever you put it, should roughly be a third of what you write. It should be no more or no less. The other 2/3 should be dedicated to the rest of the play itself. So good luck with that. I would encourage you to pause at this point and attempt the question provided. And until next time, thank you very much for all your help and support. Be sure to like, share and subscribe. And as always, take care, all the very best, and bye-bye.